comes to the creatures and horrors which are being protected by the SCP Foundation. To say that each of them is quite unique and definitely stands out is probably a bit of an understatement. I mean, you can have anything from flesh-consuming monsters to objects that appear completely mundane, but if given the opportunity, could mess your life up quite well. And while the creature we'll be discussing today definitely follows that suit, in terms of being both unique and also having the ability to very much kill you. Today we will be talking about a Euclid SCP that has the potential to be a Keter, and that classification is probably still pending. We'll be talking about SCP-457. So, without any further ado, cuddle up in your blankets and make sure you have a lot of water and stay hydrated because it's about to get pretty hot in here. And let's go. Now, first things first, as I mentioned, SCPs are often divided into many unique categories, so let's establish some basics. SCP-457 appears to be a sentient being, except that it is completely composed of flame. Now, that statement is perhaps not fully accurate, because the actual composition of SCP-457 is completely unknown and has appeared to be invisible and undetectable by any currently known means. However, the way we're able to identify it is that at all given times it produces flames, and those flames give structure and shape to what is presumably being hidden underneath. Now, if you were to see SCP-457 with your own eyes, depending on the situation, it can look very different. In its most basic rudimentary form, it appears to be a single flame, somewhat similar to what you might see burning at the end of a matchstick. In this form, SCP-457 appears to be in its most basic state, showing basically no signs of being unusual compared to other flames of said size, with the exception of supposedly being able to quote-unquote jump to more flammable materials and objects which are easier to burn in its vicinity. Now, should this SCP manage to find more fuel, its shape and size will evolve accordingly, growing larger into more complex shapes, with its intelligence growing alongside its size. Once this SCP consumes enough fuel to reach approximately human size, it will in most cases assume a human-like form, which is simply surrounded and composed of smoke and flames. Now, at this point, presumably the intelligence of this SCP has reached basically the intelligence of a human being, and it has shown the ability to communicate, both by writing letters out with its own flame and burning/etching them into surfaces, or, more rarely, through instances of speech, which it creates via high-pressure superheated air that can be heard in between the crackling and the pops of flames. Now, this is not the final stage of SCP-457. Should it continue to get more fuel, it will actually reach another state at an unknown threshold, at which point it splits into two beings, and that will continue to happen more and more. Interestingly enough, however, once this has happened, the individual instances of SCP-457 become aggressive towards each other, and will attempt to consume or extinguish the opposition, especially if the fuel that they have available to them is limited. Now, this SCP wouldn't be nearly as dangerous as it is without its bursts of intelligence, because on the basic level, its goals are incredibly simple. Seemingly, the only thing it really wants is to acquire larger sources of fuel and spread and grow. However, to accomplish this with larger size, this SCP had managed to learn to mimic behaviors and even go as far as to set up relatively complex traps, such as, for example, purposefully sabotaging and damaging a sprinkler system which was used to keep it at bay, causing a massive explosion and escaping containment. Because of this, it is currently kept in a small 5x5 meter chamber with a lot of cumulative fireproofing via various materials along the walls and ceiling that is always kept at high humidity, with a lot of drainage system in place to make sure that the SCP never gets out again. Luckily, as of right now, the Foundation has been able to have enough systems in place to control the shape and danger of this SCP to a relatively solid level. Now, if you're curious about how this SCP came to be in the Foundation's possession, well, not much is really known, except that it was recovered in the summer of 2007 after several wildfires that spread from the area were attributed to it. In terms of how or when this SCP originally formed, that is completely unknown. So now, to wrap this video off, let's hear an interview between Dr. and SCP-457.
Can you speak currently?
Yes.
Good. Would you mind answering some questions? I'll take that as a no. How do you feel about being confined?
Dislike. No fuel. No air.
We have provided you with adequate air and fuel to survive.
Cannot burn. No fuel.
Are you saying that you cannot grow?
Grow. Me. Must grow.
How do you feel?
Hungry.
Do you feel anything besides hunger? How do you feel about humans?
They burn.
How do you feel about fuel?
It burns.
Please move away from the window, or we will be forced to reduce your size considerably. How do you feel about water? Please move away from the window, or we will be forced to turn the sprinklers back on. Do you understand that? Stay away from the window, and you will not be doused. Do you understand?
What? Fuel. What? Air. What? Burn. Want to burn. Want to burn. Want to burn.
There is no way out. If you would please... What is it doing? Is it looking for a way out?
And that was SCP-457. So I hope you guys enjoyed and have at least something more to think about tonight while you're falling asleep. If you liked this video, maybe consider leaving a like, commenting, or subscribing. All of those would be very much appreciated. And if there's anything that you would like me to look at next, or an SCP recommendation that you have, please make sure to leave that down in the comments as well. I would very much like to read it. Now with that, I'm gonna wish you all a beautiful rest of the day, and I'll see you all in whatever next video I make. Bye bye.